Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. My name is Fox Part, and I'm playing a game that I just made called Addiction Slayer. It's here on my website, futuremusic.online, and let's get right into here. I'm just going to mute the music for 1 second because I just got to explain. We got difficulties here. We've got easy, that's Finland. It's supposed to be a joke. Medium, that's Japan. And we have hard, which is the United States, where we have 50% more money, but 50% less rehab. Let's go through the instructions real quick. Welcome to Addiction Slayer. Balance your habits, manage stress, and survive the addictions of modern life. Movement and stats. Use WASD to move. Watch your health, stress, and fatness icons. Press space to do jumping jacks and burn fat. Collect green items for positive buffs. Red items inflict negative effects and increase your addiction wheel levels. Money gives a little bit of a speed boost. It's the only negative item that helps you, but also makes more suits and shooters spawn the higher your addiction to it is. Hold left click to charge your Psywave attack, or right click to deploy a force field for 2 seconds. Both use the same cooldown. Force fields deflect bad items but let good ones through. You can find rehab centers to reset your addictions. You have to destroy spawner structures to get test tubes. Collect them for permanent stat upgrades and addiction immunities. You win the game when you've eliminated all your addictions. Good luck. I'm gonna start on easy because I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a hard game. It's beatable on medium. I don't even know if it's beatable on hard. Hard is pretty hard. Easy, I've beaten it plenty of times on easy, so easy is playable. Normal is pretty challenging, but hey, beating addictions is hard. See, I don't even. You're supposed to. The worst one is drunk. The worst one is the alcohol because it makes you move all crazy. Okay, I always go for nicotine because there's more than the alcohol. Well, the alcohol is technically the worst. So since I have 2 points on the nicotine, I can't get addicted to the nicotine Each time you destroy a structure, your cooldown goes down for your Psywave attack, so it gets a little... See, the game gets easier over time because... Well, it's kind of a balance. Because the longer that it takes you to win, the more negative items spawn and the faster that you get death. Also, the more addictions that you're immune to, the less you have to worry about the negative items, and your Psywave cooldown goes down a lot, so that becomes really useful. You got the TVs that just put stuff in. Okay, this is one of the worst things. She follows you around. Stuff just spits at you. See, I'm immune to the cigarettes now, so that's good. That's the worst one. That's like fentanyl. That one gives you. That one will kill you. I could be doing other upgrades, but I always just do the Psywave attack. Ooh, don't get there. Oh, no, don't do that. See, every time you get a test tube, a new test tube spawns, so it's like easy. I think I have enough side damage now, so I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna start upgrading my max stress now. You can go into these tunnels too to escape from the. So it's not too hard on easy mode. Oh, I can't. I said I was max stress. Now the fast food is the least harmful because all it does is make you look fatter, but the fat does make your stress build up consistently. And now there's so many test tubes on the map that it's. But I mean, easy mode is supposed to be kind of easy. You're supposed to actually be able to beat it. Yay! You win! You got your stats there. Okay, good job. That was easy mode. So yeah, that's my game, colorization. Or, I'm sorry, not colorization. That's Addiction Slayer. But I do have other games here on my website, Feature Music, that are free to play. Also have colorization. That's where you start in a black and white world and you have to, but you're colorful and you make it colorful. That's this one. So you upgrade your character and you, so that you can make the world more colorful faster. So that's a good one too. And I got Herdorama. That's where you lead a herd and you grow your herd and you wipe out other herds. Target Catharsis, you just break a bunch of targets. And then Domain, this one's not done yet. It's kind of a strategy one. And then I have my music, which you can check out. And if you wanted to, there's some in-game purchases in here. There's like some skins for this one and stuff. But I also have um, merch. If you're interested in the design of any of my merch, it would really help me out. Um, yeah, the game. I made the game because I made Addiction Slayer because I wanted to have like a positive impact. People that are dealing with all kinds of substance abuse issues. It kind of gives them something to do that's kind of addictive in and of itself, but they get to kind of conquer their addictions digitally, right? And just kind of keep themselves occupied with something for a while. It kind of keeps them on the ball at the same time. And it just furthers the agenda of like, well, we need to deal with these problems, right? Because they're brain damaging people and it's making society really difficult to live in. You know, I keep saying now that we are living in a gigantic slow motion concentration camp. There's a McDonald's every 2 miles. There's no potency caps on the marijuana. Alcohol, there's been liquor stores on every corner. There's alcohol is nothing but bad news. I mean, for the sheer amount of trauma and pain that it causes, it's really not worth like, oh, well, I kind of sort of have a good time on a Saturday because I poisoned myself. Um, Not really worth like the cost to child rearing and how you traumatize children for the rest of their lives over the course of years because they're with someone that's brain damaged that they can't trust and who uh, does stupid stuff all the time. And it's not good for those people either because it is killing them quicker over time, sometimes significantly, and they get into car crashes and they die. And it's just really terrible. It's really just not worth it. I mean, we've known this for decades, but it just keeps going. Also, I mean, along that same vein, on my website, we have the substance abuse impact illustrator. This was made with AI, with Gemini Deep Research, aggregated a bunch of different research, and came up with a somewhat realistic estimate of what you're doing to yourself over time with even small frequent doses. We know now that there is no safe dose of alcohol. It is a neurotoxin, right? Marijuana is really not that great for you either. It affects you in some ways even more extremely than alcohol. So this is what happens if you just partake in a little bit. Well, here, let's just say who. Let's take the weed down a little bit. No, I'd say, yeah, 3.5 grams of weed a week. Let's see, some of the people that I've seen, a lot of the people that I know, see, 12 cigarettes a week. Actually, probably more like 14 at least. We could get up to 15. If people are smoking cigarettes, they're usually smoking more than one a day, and then a couple of drinks a week. Ah, yeah, this sounds about right. I mean, this adds up when you look at people. You look at the difference between old people that have done these things and old people that haven't, or young people that do these things and young people that haven't. Let's see, after just 10 years of this type of a routine, let's see, you lose 30% of your focus, half of your energy, more than a third of your critical thinking, 40% of your memory, 23% of your ability to feel happiness at all, and about 75% of your sex drive. That actually checks out. That checks out. People become impotent. After 40 years, your sex drive is one fifth. Actually, I mean, by that time, most people are completely impotent. They can't get it up at all. 35% of your ability to feel happiness at all. 60% of your memory. Yeah, most people that do operate like that, they have pretty serious dementia. Half of your critical thinking ability, more than half of your energy. That makes sense. They wear down really bad. They sound like they're dying every morning they wake up. Lose half of their focus. So, I mean, it reiterates what a terrible situation we're in because all of these problems have been expanding in the United States specifically. Um, Deaths of despair have more than doubled in the last 20 years. Chronic fatigue syndrome is up 15 times, at least reported chronic fatigue syndrome. My father almost certainly has it. I don't think he's even documented as that. I would assume it's more like 25 or 30 times increase in chronic fatigue syndrome since 2020, just the last 6 years. Um, 35% obesity rate, 60 something percent overweight. None of this was normal 20 years ago. Just really bad. Just really bad. Will look back within the next few years of machine consciousness and intelligence expanding and all this expansion of awareness. And I think we'll look back on this period since World War II is basically we've been living in a slow motion concentration camp. It's an intergenerational concentration camp where, I mean, we're conquered at a biological level, dominated at a biological level, long past the point of what was ever necessary to actually maintain control. And we will look back on many members of our ruling class as being closeted sadists when we're able to read their minds within the next 3 years. But we will look back on the last 80 years of human history since the Holocaust, and we'll say that this was actually worse than the Holocaust overall because it affected way more people and it was just so much slower. You don't get worked to death over 6 years in a concentration camp. I mean, it just keeps going. It goes on for 60 years and you're not allowed to die. You're convinced that you like it, right? And they just keep putting smoke in your lungs and destroying your body. And that really is what it is. I mean, you're poisoning your brain. You are killing brain cells as soon as this stuff goes into as soon as it drops on your tongue. These cigarettes, if you forced somebody to work 40 hours a week and every half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever go up to a smokestack and just inhale the fumes from that smokestack, we would call it a torture camp. We would call it a concentration camp. But if you can trick someone, give it to them with it, what is it, over 7,000 different toxic compounds in a tobacco cigarette, and many things that are addictive beyond even the nicotine. If you can trick someone, most people start smoking at very young ages. They just made a stupid decision, picked up a cigarette, it ruins them for the rest of their life. It's like a 30, 40, 50-year sentence for a moment of impulse in your youth. So it's just it is disgusting. It's just absolutely horrific. And then the substance itself brainwashes that person into fighting for their right to continue destroying themselves. I mean, so it is really insidious. Toss some added sugar on there. Let's see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it starts to kind of level out after a while. You can only do so much more to yourself, right? Yeah, and I'm not saying that the calculator is 100% accurate, but it really does absolutely destroy people. And I mean, they just egged it on. That's it. We live in a realm of addiction. We want to move into post addiction economics, because addiction economics, I mean, you just dementedly and viciously exploit people's own biologies and DNA, like beyond they can't escape from the determinism of their suffering. And it's not even good for productivity. It hasn't been good for GDP. You would have only ever improved GDP. You would have only improved the world for everyone if you had made it more of a priority to eliminate these things, but they never did. What was it, like $100 million into the recent Addiction Recovery Act and $40 billion to building new cages for immigrants. I mean, so this tells you where the priorities are, right? And I said, if you could do 200,000 times more good for the world. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I I was an honor student in high school. I had like a semester's worth of college credits by the time I was done with high school. I went to college. I joined the National Guard to help pay for college. I was an honor graduate in my A school, my basic training. I discharged honorably. I had the highest physical fitness score, alternating between that and the second highest physical fitness score in my um, National Guard unit, which was an IT unit. So it's not like it was an infantry unit or anything like that. But I graduated from college with my bachelor's a year early because I was in an accelerated program. I had a secret level security clearance, and I worked secret level security clearance as a contractor for the government for a while. So it's like, but I live in poverty now because of this and because of the complete lack of support and just how terrible our system actually is. I mean, I blame the system a lot because I am not an unproductive or unconstructive person. They really could have done a lot more with me. I feel like the world kind of conspired to throw me away. Like they set me back like probably 5 years now, being deliberately, willfully unhelpful with their idiotic systems, attacking me instead of helping me. And they do that to everyone. It's not just me. It's not a conspiracy against me. It's algorithmic oppression. And they use these substances a lot. That's all part of it. But we are living in a gigantic concentration camp, and it is really disgusting. It's just really unnecessary. It just didn't do anybody any good this entire time. It just doesn't make any sense. They just condemn so many people to suffering and just act like it just doesn't matter. Like it could have been you, dude. Like it easily could have been you. Like I don't understand why you think you're so special. You think that so many people, I mean, a solid 20, 30% of this country, they wake up every morning sounding like they're fucking dying. Like, I mean, there's something real seriously wrong. Like, it's not normal. This isn't normal, and it's not good. It is a gigantic concentration camp. You need to wake the fuck up. And what I was getting at before I went off on a tangent was if you I like police officers, or I was friends with a lot of police officers when I was in the National Guard. I actually don't have issues with the police for the most part, but they do have corruption issues for sure nowadays. Um, I think you would do 200,000 times more good for the world in terms of the billions saved in healthcare burden, billions saved in enforcement and judicial expense. That just if you stopped waiting around for people's brains to degrade so far that they lose all temperament, that they lose all sense, and they get into all kinds of stupid conflicts with one another, and then you send somebody to beat them up and throw them in a cage after so many years of ignoring the problem. If you fired a single police officer from every jurisdiction and hired a man for half the cost to go from, or a woman, from door to door and positively nudge people to do jumping jacks, you would do 200 something thousand times more good for the world with a single jumping jack man than an entire team of police officers, because he would prevent so much the police officers ever being necessary. And so we have more sophisticated ways of doing that, right? Of TikTok, instead of constantly antagonizing and aggravating situations and making and hurting mental health, and just social media in general, if they had more of an impetus to provide positive nudges to people, positive lifestyle nudges to people, instead of what it would appear to be the opposite. If they actually use the technology to raise humanity up instead of attacking it, we I mean, the world would just be a way better place. But it's like we've had the technology and the resources for a really long time. It really wouldn't cost very much money for the government to put up, like, for instance, a public matchmaking service that wouldn't just be like romantic, but could also be friends. Like, they have algorithms to match people up and do stuff like that, and it could be offered for free. The infrastructure wouldn't cost very much at all compared to how much money they spend. Like, it would be a handful of Scud missiles, like, or not even that. It's just they spent $40 billion building new cages for immigrants. And so you took a single billion of that, and you would have a nationwide matchmaking service for people to go, like, get laid. I mean, that's another thing. I don't do it too overtly on here. I focus more on the addictions, but it's like half of all people 30 and under, like, we're just not having sex at all, and I'm one of them. I haven't had sex in 10 years. And I just told you I was the highest physical fitness score in my military unit. So I mean, something's going on, right? We're lonely and we're deprived of very critical, like, they're just critical for healthy brain development and everything. Oxytocin and other hormones that are triggered when you have sex, and people don't get to have sex, and we're all so unattracted to each other because we're all so disgusting and fat and whatever. And it's like, sorry, I mean, I don't mean to be mean to anybody. It's just, uh, we all have our demons or whatever. It's like, yeah, this sucks. It's a gigantic concentration camp, and they're not doing anything helpful. I've had an experience with the legal infrastructure, and they are not helpful. They're really just antagonistic losers. But oh well, that's my game. If you could support me, I would really appreciate it. And listen to some of my music. I actually have a song on my channel. No, it's not these ones. I haven't put it on the website yet. See, intergenerational concentration camp. Going through the motions of something pointless, stupid, and cruel. That's my most recent one. It uses graphics from the game Herdorama that I released on my website. So anyway, yeah, that's what it's all about. And if you support me, that's what you're supporting. That's my priority here. Also, this is my website for shoot, where is it? Let's go here. Click on future music. Um, yeah, just so I can go back and click that. This is my other business, Shine More Online. Um, if you hired me to do a website, it'd be a little expensive, but again, you'd be helping me out a lot. So if you're someone that just for whatever reason the machine rewarded you with a lot of money, You have let me have a little bit of that and let me do some decent work for you. Um, I really appreciate that, and I'll do a good job for you. I Yeah, the world's we're really not making the best use of our resources. Like I feel like I'm a testament to that because I'm obviously a lot more useful than people treat me like I am. They don't treat me like I'm useful. They just kind of act like they want any excuse to throw me away. These idiots are acting like they're going to throw me in jail. Um, After breaking four different laws themselves, and I didn't even actually even break one law. They're just dumb. They just don't even understand their own jobs, or they've been bribed to act like idiots. And so I got to deal with that. Fortunately, we have AI that's already better than most of these lawyers. It really already outperforms 85% of lawyers. And the AI CEO of Microsoft thinks that within the next 12 to 18 months, all lawyer tasks are going to be 100% automated. And I think he's undershooting it because I think the Colossus supercluster is going to, I think Grok 5, when that drops before the end of March, that's going to be a real game changer. And I think it's probably going to be more like he said 12 to 18 months. Probably more like 6 to 12. I think it'll be more like 6 to 12 months before we're all just kind of like, why should I pay a lawyer to click a button on a AI? Or why should we pay judges when they just act like such dumb people all the time and they just wear their little medieval clown robes and they don't really understand science. What is a judge? It's just a person who wasn't really smart enough to go be a scientist, whether they like the money, right? But yeah, I think everything's going to change very soon. And all of the reasoning models that I consulted, they've already acquitted me. But it's been a very cruel and unnecessary adder of stress and just another source of emotional torment and frustration. That's all that this system is good for. I mean, it's what it thrives on. It just wants to antagonize us and make us frustrated and make us hate our lives and punish us constantly for being alive. Um, Hope I can get out from under this idiotic boulder. And I'm trying to make some money so that I can have a decent life because I've gone homeless. I've lived with people that it's really kind of insulting and degrading that I still have to live with them. And yeah, you could be doing a better job with your resources society and you could be helping people a lot more. You're just kind of lazy Nazi assholes at this point. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Please support me. I'm Fox Pardon.